Welcome to the Four Cardinal Points official channel. Four Cardinal Points organization is a multifaceted research and analysis center based in Istanbul, Turkey. Today, let's examine the 19th century through the lens of civil conflict. We uncover not merely battles between factions, but the birth pangs of a modern world order. These wars were laboratories where nationalism, state sovereignty, and industrial warfare were tested with devastating consequences. Today, I invite you to reconsider these conflicts not as a historical footnotes, but as a foundational events that shaped our contemporary political landscape. Let's start with the American Crucible, the so-called American Civil War or United States Civil War that went from 1861 through 1865. The United States Civil War represents modernity's first true stress test. Beyond the moral question of slavery, this was a constitutional crisis that asked, could a federal republic survive secession? The Union's victory established crucial precedents. First, the supremacy of federal authority over states' rights. Second, the nation-state as an indivisible entity. And third, the industrialized warfare's destructive potential. Sherman's March demonstrated how modern logistics could weaponize infrastructure, while the Emancipation Proclamation revealed how moral imperatives could be strategically deployed. This conflict created the template for 20th century total war. A second very important case is the so-called Taiping Cataclysm that went from 1850 through 1864, a 14-year-old civil war. In terms of human cost, the Taiping Rebellion remains unparalleled. Its 20 to 30 million casualties exceeded all Napoleonic wars combined. Honshu Kwang's failed civil service examination became history's most consequential academic disappointment. Speaking a movement that briefly implemented proto-socialist land reforms, challenged Confucian and Manchu authority, and anticipated 20th century peasant revolutions. The Qing dynasty's Pyrrhic victory, achieved with European assistance, exposed the fragility of traditional empires facing modernizing forces. A third case of a 19th century civil war was Spain's Carlist struggles that lasted from 1833 through 1876. The Carlist Wars present a fascinating case study in reactionary resistance. These conflicts between liberal modernizers and Catholic traditionalists featured early mass political mobilization, the use of mountainous terrain for guerrilla warfare, and emerging nationalist sentiments in Basque regions. These wars delayed Spain's modernization while demonstrating how traditional institutions rearguard actions against constitutional governance. Another important case of the 19th century is the Paraguay's national suicide. This struggle went from 1864 through 1870, and basically in this war, the Triple Alliance stands as history's most disproportionate demographic catastrophe. And I'll tell you why. Paraguay's losses of around 60 to 70% of its population resulted from a dictator's miscalculation of regional power dynamics, the first modern instance of total population mobilization, and the brutal mathematics of asymmetric warfare. This conflict serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of nationalist hubris in developing states. Next stands as the Mexico's liberal experiment that went from 1857 through 1861. The Reform War crystallized Latin Americans' struggle between clerical conservatism on one side and secular liberalism on the other. Benito Juárez's victory established constitutional precedents across the region, demonstrated how anti-clericalism could mobilize popular support, and directly led to foreign intervention, proving the vulnerability of reforming states. So let's establish a thematic connections to modern conflict into the modern world. Several critical patterns emerge from these cases. First, the nationalism imperative. These wars accelerated the transition from dynastic realms to nation states. Secondly, stands the industrialization impact and how new technologies enable unprecedented destruction while strengthening central governments. In the third place comes ideological framing. These conflicts increasingly adopted progressive versus conservative narratives that still dominate politics. And lastly, internationalization. Even ostensibly internal wars attracted foreign interference, presaging 20th century proxy conflicts. So what were the methodological considerations? As scholars, we must interrogate why certain 19th century civil wars, the United States Civil War, Taiping Civil War, dominate historiography, while others, the Carlist struggle in Spain or the Paraguayan Civil War, remain niche interests. This speaks to the politics of historical memory, the language barriers in global scholarship, and the privileging of Western conflicts in academic institutions. In conclusion, why this matters today? Understanding these conflicts provides essential context for contemporary crisis. When we analyze modern separatist movements or religious nationalist conflicts, we're observing variations on 19th century themes. The crucial difference is that today's civil wars unfold under nuclear shadows and digital surveillance. But the fundamental questions of sovereignty, identity, and state violence remain unchanged. As we continue our research, we propose that we view the 19th century not as a series of discrete events, but as an interconnected global process where the modern state system was forged through violence. Only by comprehending these origins can we fully grasp today's conflicts. Thank you very much for watching this video. I welcome your thoughts on how we might apply these historical frameworks to current cases like Ukraine or Myanmar. If you like this video, please do like this video. If you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. That will help us a lot to pursue our project into further audiences. And that's been all for today. Have a very good day.